Tensions in Beijing are rising as senior leaders gather behind closed doors for the Beidaihe meeting. One man is staging high-intensity drills just 300 miles away. Why now? What are the factions really fighting over? And could China's political future be decided not in the meeting room, but on the battlefield? Welcome back to Final War with Catherine Hu. Something strange is unfolding inside Beijing's top leadership. Unusual signs, whispers of deep divisions, and a growing sense that a political rupture may already be underway. But behind the headlines, there's a darker current rising. A new military crisis is quietly taking shape. We'll take you inside it. Let's start with the military. July 31st, Beijing held its annual banquet at the Great Hall of the People to mark the 98th anniversary of the PLA. The official Xinhua readout mentioned a few names: Chief of the Joint Staff Liu Jian, Discipline Chief Zhang Youxia, and Defense Minister Dong Jun. Some have asked why Xi Jinping or Zhang Youxia didn't attend. But in reality, that's standard protocol. The chairman and vice chairman of the Central Military Commission typically don't appear unless it's a major anniversary. No, what's truly unusual is the absence of 7 sitting generals from the head table. That's right, 7 top officers vanished from view. According to the Hong Kong-based Singtao Daily, a party-aligned outlet, this year's banquet was missing the heads of the People's Armed Police, the Navy, and several major political departments. Commanders like Wang Chuning, Zhang Hongbing, Hu Zhongming, Yuan Huaji, all gone. The Central Military Commission's Political Work Department also sent no representative. And that's no small detail. Political work is at the heart of the party's control over the army. The party commands the gun. That's the core principle. And yet this year, not a single political commissar was seated at the top table. That alone sends a signal. Now, one of those absences, Miao Hua, head of the CMC's Political Work Department, is easy to explain. He was officially removed by the National People's Congress in late June. But his deputy, General He Hongjun, was also missing, which strongly suggests he's now under investigation too. But here's the deeper question. Why hasn't Xi Jinping named any replacements? 2 of his closest military allies have been purged, and yet, no new appointments. Instead, their duties are being handled quietly by Zhang Shengmin, a longtime ally of Zhang Youxia. Why? Here's another signal something's wrong. Traditionally, around the PLA's founding anniversary, August 1st, the party holds promotion ceremonies for senior generals. This year, it didn't happen. According to former PLA officer Yao Cheng, who now lives overseas, the military had originally planned to promote several new top commanders right before August 1st, but the ceremony was suddenly called off. No new generals were named, no new faces took the stage, which suggests, at the last minute, something changed. And that wasn't the only thing Yao Cheng revealed. According to his latest intel, China's military has now entered a new phase, full-scale joint operations training, combining land, sea, air, and cyber units under real combat conditions. And here's the part that matters most. Zhang Youxia is running the show, alone. Xi Jinping is completely absent from command. That's not just unusual, that's a tectonic shift. August 3rd, Xinhua News officially confirmed the start of the Beidaihe meeting, China's most secretive summer gathering of senior party leadership. As usual, the announcement came in the form of a staged visit. Top Politburo member Tai Qi visiting scientists on summer break. That's the regime's standard code. It means the real meeting has begun behind closed doors. And this year, just as the Beidaihe talks quietly opened, Zhang Youxia launched a military exercise, high-intensity drills, tanks, troops, artillery. The location, Zhangjiakou, less than 300 miles from Beidaihe, where the country's entire leadership is gathering. The timing was no accident. Military drills during Beidaihe meetings aren't unheard of, but they are rare. In fact, it's only happened once in the Xi Jinping era. That was in 2017, when Xi himself staged a massive parade at a base in Inner Mongolia, right before the 19th Party Congress, the moment he was about to crown himself as the party's supreme leader. VOA ran the headline, "Xi Jinping holds military parade. Who is he trying to intimidate?" That parade was calculated. Xi was warning the old guard. "I control the military. Do not stand in my way." This time, the roles are reversed. It's not Xi. It's Zhang Youxia commanding the show of force. So the question is no longer who controls the military. The question is, who is Zhang Youxia trying to send a message to? If that answer is Beijing's top leadership, then this isn't just about training. It's about leverage. While Zhang Youxia was conducting drills near the capital, another top general quietly left it. According to veteran journalist Gao Yu, General Liu Yuan, son of former head of state Liu Shaoti, has left Beijing to avoid political complications. Liu is no ordinary figure. He holds the rank of full general. He's 2 years older than Xi Jinping, and as a princeling with deep party roots, he's long been seen as a quiet heavyweight in the military establishment. Australia-based scholar Yuan Hongbing claims Liu Yuan is one of the few within the PLA who openly advocates for depoliticizing the military. In Liu Yuan's view, the army should belong to the nation, not the party. That position alone makes him a threat to Xi's legacy. So why leave the capital now? Some say it's to stay out of the line of fire, but others see something more strategic. A contingency move. If Beijing erupts, someone trusted must remain outside, free and capable of regrouping. That someone might be Liu Yuan. And when paired with Zhang Youxia's military maneuvers, the two moves begin to look like a coordinated strategy. One applies pressure, the other prepares for the unknown. To understand what's really happening behind the curtain, you have to map the battlefield inside the party. Right now, Beijing is being pulled in 4 directions by 4 distinct factions. Faction 1, the Red Maoists. This group is rooted in the ideology of Mao Zedong. Hardline, ultra-authoritarian. They believe in control first, economy second. Their goal is to preserve the Red dynasty, no matter the cost. Xi Jinping is their standard bearer. But ironically, this camp is now on the back foot. Xi's power has been stripped down, piece by piece. What's left are loyalists and remnants, many tied to the Jiang Zemin era security state. Yet they still have one advantage: a shared legacy of repression. Those who've overseen political purges, targeting ideological and social groups, now stand united. Not out of loyalty, but out of survival. Their best hope? Let Xi retire with dignity, keep a foothold in the system, and wait for a comeback. Faction 2, the Reformists. Led by figures like Wen Jiabao, Liu Yuan, and Wang Yang, this camp sees political reform, not repression, as the only path forward. Their vision? An opening of the system. Not a Western democracy, but a step away from one-man rule. Right now, the reformists are quietly leading Beijing's top decision-making body, the Central Party decision-making and coordination body. They're facing fierce resistance from the Maoist hardliners. Still, in the eyes of many, this camp offers the only real path out of China's deepening crisis. Faction 3, the Party Preservationists. They reject Xi's radicalism. They oppose political reform. Their dream is to rewind the clock to 2010, a time when the party ruled firmly, but the economy thrived and censorship had limits. Their main figure is former President Hu Jintao. Their candidate for the future? Hu Chunhua. This group doesn't want to blow up the system, they want to stabilize it. They've made fragile deals with both sides, agreeing with the Maoists to preserve the party, and with the reformists to correct Xi's mistakes. But ultimately, they're trying to delay, buy time, and preserve the status quo. Faction 4, the military. Led by Zhang Youxia, backed quietly by General Liu Yuan, the military doesn't have a political platform. They don't endorse any successor. Their one demand? Xi Jinping is under rising pressure to fully step aside, with no ceremonial role or policy influence remaining. What they want, above all, is autonomy. To keep the PLA out of party infighting, to restore a level of independence that hasn't existed in decades. And in this fragile power puzzle, the military now holds the swing vote. Here's the current reality. None of the four factions can win alone. Every one of them needs allies. So the game now is coalition building. For Xi Jinping's Red Maoist camp, the strategy is clear. Fight off reform, cling to the party, and find protection through a half-retirement deal. Their only potential partner? The party preservationists, who still want the system to survive, even if Xi doesn't. But there's no love here, only mutual need. Both camps know they share the same legacy of suppression, and both fear what might happen if that legacy is exposed. On the other side, the reformists and the military are drawing closer. They don't share a political vision, but they do share one goal. Xi Jinping must step down, completely, irreversibly. Liu Yuan's long-standing push to depoliticize the military resonates here. And for now, the reformists see the PLA not as a threat, but as their only path to enforce real change. That leaves the party preservationists in the middle, and they hold one powerful card: Hu Jintao. As a former general secretary who has institutional legitimacy, if he joins a transfer of power, then the party can claim continuity. It becomes a correction, not a coup. Just like when Deng Xiaoping slowly removed Hua Guofeng over 2 years without bloodshed, what historians call a silent coup. But if Hu Jintao refuses to participate, then the handover collapses, the illusion of party unity shatters, and what follows? may no longer be silent, because at that point, legitimacy won't matter. Security will, if no consensus is reached, and if the military feels its own survival is at risk. Zhang Youxia may no longer remain passive. The military could take action. China's future may no longer be shaped only behind closed doors. It could shift from quiet negotiation to visible confrontation. Now, we circle back to the quietest move of all. General Liu Yuan leaving Beijing. Some say it was to avoid the spotlight. I believe it was a safeguard, a contingency, because if chaos breaks out in the capital, someone must remain untouched. Someone must be ready to act from the outside. Which brings us back to the real fork in the road. Xi Jinping will not be allowed to cling to power. That much is already decided. Whether he leaves in October's 4th plenum or earlier, his era is ending. But what comes next is still a live fight. On one side, the party preservationists. They want to keep the system intact. Retire Xi, but preserve the framework of the party. On the other, the reformists. They envision a fundamental rethinking of China's political architecture. Neither side can win without the military. And that makes the PLA's next move the defining moment. Will it support a transition some have compared to Deng Xiaoping's quiet removal of Hua Guofeng? Or will it tip the board entirely? In the end, Zhang Youxia's choice may be the one that decides China's future. We'll be watching. Get the real story behind the CCP's shifting power games and see where US-China relations are headed next. Support the vision of a new China without communism. Subscribe now and join us in bringing the truth to light.